Hey guys, it's the Prodigy here, and basically today what we are doing for you is another guide series. So, basically, let's get the show on the road. Today we're doing midfield, which is basically left mid, left wing, right wing. Even though left wing and right wing have sort of been covered halfly by the striker builds. CDM, cam, centre mid, what I think the best builds are for those, and explaining exactly what they are for you. So let's get started by going into pro clubs. Let me just turn down my mic slightly so I'm not yelling at you guys. Right, so go to pro clubs. Now then, midfield. A lot of people, when they first start a pro, like to start off as a cam. It's up to you really whether you want to have better passing rather than better shooting, because cam is just a lot easier to play. It's just the way it is. But like I said, creator and forward is basically just like being a cam and strike. Now, for a cam build, the best one to go by far is Playmaker. That is just the number one for cam. Playmaker is just basically what it says on the tin. You're there to make the play. You're the main man to rely on for passes and even a bit of finishing, and mainly your dribbling. Okay? So your ball control is the best out of the three. I believe your dribbling is as well, and your short passing and long passing most definitely is. Okay. Now, more for a defensive type of cam. This would be for if you've got a 4-5-1 diamond or whatever it is, 4-5-1. Where it's got the two cams, or if you're playing just the bog standard 4-4-2 and you have two central midfielders, you'll want one attacking cam that is also coming back a lot. Then box to box is the one you want to be. Box to box is basically a CDM, but everyone realizes that CDM has the exact same playing styles as cam, centre attack. But box to box is basically what it says on the tin. Again, midfield is quite straightforward. You literally will be running from box to box, so your stats are pretty equal for both sides of the attack and defence. So if you're running up and you're making a load of passes and then you take a shot, they'll be up to a relatively okay standard, and then mainly when you come back and defend, that'll be a bit of a better standard. So look here, your shot power, your short passing is pretty decent, to be fair, not too bad. And then you've obviously got your standing tackle, going a bit better, but not as good as ball winner. Now, if you're going for just a defensive cam, I don't see the point in that, so I wouldn't recommend it. But just to show you anyway, the ball winner one, it's basically completely equal statistics, just no finishing. Like, the finishing is dreadful. That's pretty much it. But yeah, definitely in cam. If you're playing that attacking cam, then Playmaker is the one. If you're playing in central midfield, then box to box is the one you want to be. Ball winner, I'd never really go as that. Now going on to central defensive midfield, you've got Playmaker as well. It's pretty much the same. I like to play Playmaker because I rely on my height and my speed. When I play central defensive midfield, I am often the interceptor rather than the tackler. Normally we'll have two people at the back in our club, or on previous FIFAs, two people at the CDM, two people in centre back, the big full 11, and we'd have one CDM that's working as the taller guy, so 6'2", and then you'd have the slightly smaller one, 5'9" to 5'11". So basically, one will be the interceptor to run in between passes, intercept the ball, and have a quick break. Play it off to the midfield and let them do what they want with it. And then you've got the defensive centre defences, which is often ball winner or box to box, like this. Like I said, this same before. I'd only go ball winner centre defence if, number one, you're going to be a tall guy, and number two, if you've only got three at the back, just because you're going to be dropping back like that fourth defender, if your left mid and right mids aren't already falling back to make it look like a five at the back formation on the defence. Now, ball winner, I never really go. No one ever really goes that. It's just one of those things that's just kind of pointless in the game. The game's all about speed and attacking, but also defending as well. All into one person. Now, box to box is another good centre defensive. That's more for that that 5'11" to 6'3" sort of centre defence. But like I said anyway, I don't really bother with the playing styles for centre defensive. I just like to stick with playmaker because I believe that centre defence, they're the people that are going to be on the edge of the box when crosses are coming back out. They're going to be the people that are intercepting it, and they need to play it out. So they are actually the starting point of some of the play. So I think playmaker is the number one to go. Now, onto the height for this one, because I didn't do it for Cam, because it's pretty much the same. Anywhere between 5'9" to 5'11" is going to be the interceptor, so playmaker, okay? And the reason for this is your 5'11" is the one I normally go, 5'10", 5'11", the same weight. The reason why I go this is because it's just easier to intercept the ball. You've got enough pace, your stamina you don't have to worry about because you won't be pulling up all the time, unless you hold down RT all the time. And also you are still high enough to challenge for headers. Whether you win it or not, you're still challenging them, so their headers aren't going to be the best. Now, for the other central defences and cams, you can have the 5'11" to 6'3", and basically they are just that wall before they hit the defence. So they're going to be there to be making people struggle, winning every header, tackling players, while you're there trying to cover and intercept the play as that 5'9" to 5'11" build. Now for Cam, I would only go up to 6'1" max. I wouldn't even go that high. I'd never go above 5'11" for Cam. I just wouldn't recommend it. But anyway, the weight is up to you, because when you are 6'3", I think the best weight to go is 196 by the looks of it. And then 5'11", it's just 176. So, yeah. Now, onto the left mid and the left wing role. The left wing role for midfield rather than the striker build version that I showed you. That striker build version you can find on my channel. It's under FIFA 16 Best Striker Builds Guide, and it's just a bit towards the middle. And basically what I was talking about there is how to build a left wing, right wing striker style. Now, onto this one. For a left wing, I would literally, it says it right there for you. Left winger. If you're going to be left winger or right winger, I recommend to stay around the 5'9" to 5'10" height. Number one, it will give you a tiniest bit of strength, not a lot. You will hardly have any, you are going to probably win a lot of free kicks being 5'9". Number one, you've got enough strength to sort of balance out your pace, but the main thing is your pace is incredible. You'll be able to fly down those wings at this height. Now, obviously in left wing, the idea is you're meant to get down that wing as quick as you can and cross it in, or get down that wing as quick as you can and cut in, all those sort of things. So winger's good because you've got a good dribbling, good ball control, and your passing's all sort of like the general midfield sort of area, and then your shot power and your shooting isn't too bad. If you wanted to go for a more defensive left mid, so now I'm on to left mid, right mids, then box to box is obviously it. That's basically the only time I play box to box left mid and right mid is when I need to drop back, when I'm going to be dropping back. So often it's when there's only 4 at the back with 2 defenders actually playing and the other 2 are computers, or when we have 3 people at the back, we'll be dropping back and attacking a lot. So left or right box to box is the way to go for that. Your ball control, your dribbling, your passing, your shots, your standing tackles, they're all towards the late 60s to early 80s without your boosts on. So that's a good little balance for doing everything, because you're basically going to be like a centre mid in those roles. Now I've finished with that part. The central midfield role, what I'd go. Now what I recommend is if you are centre mid by yourself, more than likely you are not going to have a cam. So I would go as a cam playmaker or cam box to box, okay? Using the heights I've already told you. If you're playing in central midfield and you've got another player with you in central midfield, you two should really discuss who's going to be the taller person and who's going to be the smaller person. Taller person is the header winner and the more towards tackling and being that strengthy guy, and then the smaller guy is the interceptions, running with the ball a lot more, driving it forwards and making those key passes. Okie dokie. So On that part, all of those have just been summed up. I've tried to keep it really quick for you guys, but it still ends up being about 10 minutes long just because there's so many builds within it. But you should just take my advice. But anyway, I'll do a quick recap now. So for Cam, it's playmaker for me. Left wing, it's left winger. Right wing, it's right winger for me. Left mid, right mid, if you're having to drop back a lot box to box. Then central midfield, it would be a Cam playmaker as my my favoured one, just because you're going to be making a lot of those key passes in that central position. You'll be needed to run a lot as well, so I'd rather be the smaller one, because that central midfield, you don't have a specific position, you're sort of everywhere helping everybody. And then CDM is going to have to be playmaker for me as well. Alright, so now onto the traits. For a Cam, I'd literally leave the same ones on for a striker. I'd go more towards the passing though. So like I've got swerve, pass, fancy flicks, bicycle kicks. You can have driven pass on. I wouldn't recommend it because I just don't like having it on. It's kind of annoying. I like to control my passes. I don't like them being too driven. So the 5 traits for Cam would literally be finesse shot, swerve pass, skill dribbling, fancy flicks, and then a trait of your choice, just any of them. And then that'll be then for left mid and right wing, left wing. Early crosser is going to have to be a definite one of them. Early crosser, finesse shot, skill dribbling, fancy flicks. If you don't know what fancy flicks does, it just helps your first touches a lot. If you get a first touch in an awkward place, you'll be able to control it a lot easier. And then the 5th perk can be of your choice, any of those. Once again, the 5th perk, 5th trait. But yeah, so you only really need 4 traits, but the 5th one's sort of optional. Now for CDM, I'd go for more defensive ones. If you have acrobatic clearance and power header, get them, okay? Because if you're, I'd only put power header on if you're going to be that taller guy though. So acrobatic clearance is a must. Swerve pass, maybe even driven pass this time, just because if you're trying to get it out but you want to get it out to a player, a driven pass is a really good way to get that ball out fast to a player, okay? And then there's skill dribbling and fancy flicks once again. But rather than having fancy flicks on or driven pass on, if you get rid of one of those 2, I'd put on power header if you have it. If you don't have any of those 2, then you might want to unlock them before going into CDM, you know, play a few defense games, follow my defense tutorial that's going to be up soon. Just look at that, that'll be the best defender guides, you know, best defender build guide, you know what I mean. And then obviously, down to personality and accessories, completely up to you. You can look like what you want. Like, you can look like my lovely little Mexican guy here, even though he's in an Argentina kit. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for looking at all of this. I hope this really helped you out. Just comment, or if you're struggling on anything, I'll just reply to it. Check out the striker build if you want to, and stay tuned for the other builds. So I'll see you later, guys. Peace.